Okay, I'd like to call the Joint Special School Building Committee to order. We're at Nashua High School North Lecture Hall. It's Thursday, March 24th, 2022, and it's 7 p.m. And I don't know why it says masks are required. No. So the meeting agenda, meeting's been called to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Wilshire. Here. Alderman Clee is not here. Alderwoman Timmons. Here. Alderman Sullivan.
Here.
Miss Raymond.
Here.
Miss Lampier is not here. Miss Bishop is here. Miss Gilio.
Here.
And Mr. Claffey is not here. Okay, we're all here.
Oh, Miss Lampier.
Oh, Miss Lampier just walked in. It is 7:02.
You didn't see Neil hanging around in the parking lot, did you?
No.
Is he back?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
There's
a
some sort of musical
Oh, okay, yeah.
event happening.
I had a park out on
All right, if the clerk would please read the prayer, and Alderman Wilshire, would you lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
where is the prayer in this book?
Under the book.
Oh, laminated practically. All right. Almighty God, we have the high honor and serious duty to manage the educational affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with the spirit of unity and understanding which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all of our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. If there's no objection, I'll waive the reading of the minutes of February 24th, 2022, and place them on file. Remarks by chairman. Good news for any that don't know, we have started the new school.
Yay.
And trust me, when those people start, you don't want to get in their way because they are like moving like crazy. They went from the corner of Medallion and Cherrywood all the way to where the foundation's going in. That guy's got a thing that just eats trees like they're going out of style. And if anybody asks or anybody wants a copy of the letter, I have the letter I gave to all the neighbors. There's a temporary road from the corner of Cherrywood and Medallion up to the top of the hill and then back into the Medallion. That's only temporary, so the trucks can get up there to offload all the heavy equipment. And Ken doesn't want to give a time, but at some point we'll fix that. We'll replace that road and fix the end of Medallion, so it'll be back to look like new. And we're trying to get to the. I don't want to steal any of thunder, so I'll get into dates. So that's good news. And we had a meeting at Pennachuck today. I don't want to give that either. I'm not going to steal any of the thunder. Heck with that. So, all right. Remarks by school administration. Mr. Smith, anything?
Just a reminder, our meeting next month is a week earlier than usual due to the April vacation break, so it's on the 21st instead of the 28th.
And again, there'll be a meeting before that of the DPW construction committee. Items for discussion. All right, the architect's report. Harriman?
Good evening, everyone. I don't know which light switches are the right ones on this side. I'm usually sitting over there. So.
What do you? Oh.
There you go. All right.
We are recording, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right, so tonight, per the usual, we'll touch on the middle schools that have some work going on to them, as well as a little bit on 55 Franklin Street, which I don't think we have hit too much on. We've talked about it a little bit here and there. So Fairgrounds is pretty brief. I think we covered most of it at the last meeting, JSSBC, on some of the I think there was an approval for a not-to-exceed budget for some contingency items. Those documents are in Harvey's hands, and they are working on getting that underway for summer work, or I guess a PCO or whatnot will be forthcoming on that. And then there's a few other things that'll be happening. I think April break, they're doing some work around the planters and things like that, but that one's nearing completion, but still some items remaining. Over at Pennachuck Middle School, I was over there today. I was excited to see a lot of the progress that had happened. I know Ken will share some of that imagery and things that are ongoing. The big thing on the design side of things, we did receive bids back for the furniture. It was a pretty, I think, successful bidding process for that. Got quite a bit of, I think 6 bidders provided bids. And so I'll go through that tonight with the hopes that the board will approve moving ahead with one of the groups, one of the vendors. I am hearing that I don't think it's outlined in my presentation, but there's the project furniture, again, should it be approved, is intended to be provided in 2 phases to the school. So one phase captures most of the classroom areas, actual classroom spaces before the fall starts up this coming year. And then there's another phase that happens December break, which captures things like the learning commons and I think the cafeteria is part of that group and some other spaces. It was done that way to work with not only Harvey's phasing of construction, but also procurement of furniture is still a continuing challenge. And also I was notified just this week that the bids here captured some fuel surcharge costs that we're seeing, and they're going to be rolling those out in April, but they did note that there was like half of that surcharge is already included, and if the project was approved before the end of April, then there's no surcharge to be added to this scope. So I thought I'd just mention that just in case. Anyway, so the new furniture package, you have a couple of things in your hand. One of them is obviously the presentation. There's this is the actual selections for furniture, this package here. That is what was bid on. And then there's a chart here, which is in the presentation as well, but it was hard to read, so I wanted to give you something that was a little bit easier to read. And that's the actual bids that came in, kind of identifying the costs, and there was a few errors you'll see in red and whatnot. So the bid package was utilizing KI furniture for the most part for the classroom furniture. That furniture is proving itself not only on numerous projects we worked on in the past. They're high quality furniture, but is over at fairgrounds as well, and is a durable school oriented furniture. So a lot of these had noted no substitutions. We wanted to make sure that we got the furniture that was not only selected by school administration and proven itself, proven experience. The service for this particular furniture is also proven itself. But there is a bid that came in with a widespread substitution list. So I want to mention that. We'll talk about it a little bit further as we get deeper into it. So the 6 bidders were School Furnishings. Their offices one of their offices in Hudson, New Hampshire. They are the company that provided the fairgrounds furniture. Exteris is a vendor that's located with an office in Portland, Maine. Creative Office Pavilion, office in Manchester, New Hampshire. WB Mason has an office in Manchester, New Hampshire. Lakeshore Learning is a California-based business with retail stores in Massachusetts. And United Business Machines is a business located in New Hampshire. If we're looking at the bids, Lakeshore Learning, or the bidders, Lakeshore Learning, they had no bids offered for 19 of the items that were listed. Geared for pre-K, their furniture selections are really geared for pre-K up to 11 years old, which actually does not capture the middle school level. There were substitutions in that list that we would not consider them an equal. Again, they're really for a younger student setting, and their bid package was not complete. So I would not recommend them being awarded the contract. United Business Machines, again, there was no bids offered on 11 of the items. They are geared for, their website notes them as geared for technology items, but also carry office furniture. I didn't see anything in my research that indicated they were school-oriented. It was more office-oriented. And again, the substitutions, we did not consider an equal to the selected furniture. That, again, it's more of an office furniture setting. And their bid was also incomplete, so I would also not recommend it going to them. WB Mason, they did offer a bid on all products. Generally, this vendor provides office-type furniture. We've seen them a lot with like higher ed and office settings. Doing some research on them, their setup on their websites and stuff is not typically geared toward school pre-K through 12 furniture. So they also had a numerous list of substitutions. And again, some of that furniture that they had listed is generally used in higher ed and office settings. And I note that because we consider the K through 12 furniture that would be specific for that use group more durable than a higher ed and office setting. It's meant to be beat up and pushed over and whatnot. Although it can happen in maybe a higher ed setting and occasionally in an office setting, it's not generally the furniture use. The furniture that they also listed was from several manufacturers, so there's potential for different finishes, different service from those different manufacturers, where the bid package is based on kind of one type of furniture that can be single color selection or finish selection, and the service is generally proven from our experience. And we did have some quality concerns over the specified products. So we didn't feel that all of the products were equal. They are the low bidder, but again, in our opinion, they didn't meet the spec, the bids, and I don't feel all their furniture selections are equal. Creative Office Pavilion, they bid on all products. There was no substitutions. There were a few miscalculations in the bid, but it did not change their bid position. They were not the low bidder, the lowest qualified bidder, I'll word it that way. School Furnishings, they bid, their bids were offered for all products. There was no substitutions listed, and they were the lowest full bid on specified products. So that they would be and Exteris is the bid, they bid offered on all products. There was no substitutions. They had a few miscalculations, but it did not, again, change their bid position. So a recommendation would be to proceed with School Furnishings because they have the lowest qualified bid. And they also did do fairgrounds, so I know the school district does have experience working with them. So the base bid, just a summary of what's in that package. This package here shows where all this furniture is going, but there's classroom furniture, so all new students and desks and chairs for the entire school classroom spaces, office furniture for new and renovated spaces, cafeteria tables, appliances for new and renovated spaces, shelving and storage units at new or renovated areas. the Learning Commons furniture, student commons furniture, and there was an alternate identified in the bid package for a new mobile folding standing riser system for the chorus room. So, like I said, you probably can't read that, but the recommendation would be to move ahead with school furnishings from Hudson, New Hampshire. Their bid was, with the alternate, is $792,519, and 43 cents. Oh, I did want to mention, I had it written down, pardon me for a moment. That is under the budget for FF&E. The budget was $953,736, so a little, about 150,000 or so, approximately less.
You want to entertain a motion now?
Yeah, sure.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the school furnishings for Pennachuck to the company school furnishings for an amount of $792,519.43.
I'll make the motion,
Okay, Ms. Rowland?
but I have a question too.
Okay, so the motion's on the floor, now you can ask your question.
Okay. So is this kind of catalog of examples that you gave us, is this from this bidder or just like stock pictures?
That is actually the bid summary that we supplied to the vendors to bid on.
Okay,
So it's only a piece of the whole thing, but what I wanted to make sure you saw was what the furniture was being selected. I also could bring up after this, or close this out and bring up the plans, if anybody want to see like what that looks like in plans. I have them on this computer here. But that's from us, not from them.
okay. Thank you.
You all set?
Yeah.
Are there additional questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Jamie?
Oh, that would have been easier to read there, sorry about that. And then, that's really all on Pennachuck. Over on the new middle school, I think my thunder is dwindling there, and Harvey will be speaking more about it now that it has started construction. But I will kind of just note that there was a few additional permits that were needed, and I think those are still being looked at. There's some wetlands permits still, above and beyond what we spoke about last meeting, that are still underway. So part of that is the reason why the construction access is being done through the emergency, what will become the future emergency entrance only. In the meantime, until those wetlands permits are sent through, then they'll be able to start on the other end of now down on Buck Meadow.
Mrs. Raymond?
Thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to let everyone know that the northern salamanders are currently laying their eggs in vernal pools. So we had to redo the whole site plan for that. And so they're successfully doing that right now. This is the time of year. So, yay.
That's great.
Good job, everyone. Well, I'm excited about it.
Yes?
Alderman Dow?
Yes, Mr. Smith.
I'll speak to a little bit later, but we have hired a wetland scientist to go out and count those very same salamanders and see how they're doing.
Excellent.
That was one of the stipulations or discussions we had with Conservation Commission, that would be further investigation on that as that season came into play, so.
Yep. So it has started.
Part of the Conservation Commission was 2 of the vernal pools they don't think are active anyway. That's what they want this guy to check. And they've already given us permission to fill one of them in, so. Salamanders better be quick. And we're still going to have to find out from someone, I'm not sure who about building the whatever it is.
Hibernacium, I think is.
Hibernacium, which is a playground for those salamanders, so.
Alderman Dowd, I think that the wetland scientists would also probably make recommendations on what that would be as well, so.
Okay.
I did want to note there's a couple of minor design updates. I've mentioned them, I think, a time or two in our meetings past, which involved adding a firewall. One of them was adding a firewall into the building based on some additional code reviewing. So I know Harvey has those documents in hand and are reviewing that with their contractors to see what the implications of that are going to be. I don't think they're presenting anything tonight on that. I think that's at the next meeting, and they'll probably be prepared for that. But I did want to mention it just as another note on that. And then submittals and RFIs, again, I don't mean to mention it like people don't know what those are, but in case it's mine and Ken's lingo, submittals are the product, they're basically information from Harvey to us on confirmation on the products and pieces that are going into the project, so we review them, and they also include shop drawings of pieces that are going in, like a stairway as an example, might have a submittal shop drawing. So those are coming in very fast and furious, and we're shooting them back as quickly as we can, right back the other way, so that Harvey can, construct and have those pieces fabricated and arrive at the site. And then there's RFIs, or requests for information, so things that aren't clear. Those are also things that are questions that are coming in, and we're trying to get them back as quickly as they come in to make sure that they have their answers to keep moving. So I only mention it again because there's a lot of them still flooding in and flooding out. I think that'll slowly dwindle as the project really gears up. But oh, I forgot I had 55 Franklin Street. So 55 Franklin Street. There was a bond that was passed for the stair towers and some other work that's going to be happening over there. Did you want to talk to that at all?
I was going to say it was passed unanimously by 4 different committees, including Budget and the full Board of Aldermen.
Excellent. So we are working on finalizing the construction document side of that. We've been having meetings with some of the directors over there. I know that I think there's a pre-K director, maybe the administration, as well as Marcia Bagley from Special Ed. So to finalize any final details on that, and I think we're there. So we'll be planning to issue construction documents next week for that. So that Harvey can price out all the remaining pieces for the final cost of items. Saying that it's all stuff they've already accounted for in the bond amount. It's just making sure that we get the subcontractors lined up with that. We are still awaiting some geotech information. I know the geotech engineer has been to the site. And is working on the report. What that is really needed for is to assess the soils where the new stair towers will be setting. So that's kind of some final information that we'll need to finish the documents. If it doesn't come in a timely manner for the issuing of those documents, we could always just kind of issue a clarification or addenda to the bid package. And I know there's a traffic analysis that's underway. So our documents that are going out next week won't capture all the possible or potential site adjustments that may be required. It will capture the things like the stair tower and access out of that area, but any other additional changes may need to be looked at with some revised documents. And we are reviewing with the planning department to see if make sure this can go as a administrative review potentially. It's not a very significant change to the building and the site, so we've been having conversations with them on that.
Question? Yes, Mr. Raymond?
Sorry. I know the traffic analysis is still in progress. Have we come up with a workable solution for the drop-off for the preschoolers in the meantime, or is it still kind of crazy in front of the school.
Mr. Smith?
Still kind of crazy in front of the school.
Okay.
Oh, we are waiting for the traffic analysis, but we've discussed various alternatives. We also talked to the pastor, Berube, who had the Nashua Christian Academy before, and he talked about how he handled the situation. And his method involved use of the parking bays between our school and the church as queuing spaces.
Do you think
So
he would?
the traffic consultant and I met with him and discussed that. So when she finishes with her study, I'm sure that will be outlined
Okay.
as a possible solution.
Does he seem like he would be willing to allow us to utilize that space?
He did say that he'd be willing to let us use an additional space, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
All set?
Sir.
Ken?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Alderman Dowd. So as Alderman Dowd mentioned earlier, we are started over on the new middle school on Buck Meadow Road. So Jamie also mentioned we're dealing with a little permitting snafu with the state for the wetland. So we've kind of had to rethink how we attack the site. So we're kind of going from reverse order with keeping the same building schedule to get started. So we're basically kind of reversing how we start on the site work portion, but keeping everything else the same. So we'll be starting foundations in Area C, which is the southern portion of the classroom wing of the new building. We'll be starting foundations in April and steel erection in July. So we're moving fast and furious and to meet that date in the fall of 2024. And I'll have more pictures. It's not much to look at right now. It's just a bunch of trees coming down. And so for now, tonight, I'll just do a quick update on Pennachuck, and then I have a couple more items for you folks tonight. So just, as always, stop me anytime you have questions, and I'll do my best to answer them.
So we have talked about trying to determine when we wanted to have a groundbreaking. Typically, the groundbreaking is, you have a pile of dirt and a bunch of shovels, and it's a photo op other than anything else. We just had the groundbreaking yesterday for the DPW building. That's really moving along. So we'll figure that out and let everybody know when the groundbreaking is going to occur.
We can also, we can do some tours over at Pennachuck. I know these pictures really don't do it justice. I know Jamie mentioned earlier the progress that we've made on site. So if any of you would like a tour, we can do that at any time. Just let me and Alderman Dowd know, and we'll certainly set that up. So moving over to,
It's really amazing. You want to see that south wing, that's worth seeing.
so again, just to give everybody an overview of where things stand. So the South Classroom Edition, that is going to be turned over the second week of April, so a few weeks early. We've already started the cleaning process in there. I'll kind of get into the details of each area and where they stand at the interior and exterior. North Classroom Edition should be turned over around the 4th of July this summer. And then we'll begin all of the work on the interior of the classrooms and the exterior of the site. As soon as the teachers leave the last day of school, I believe that's the 23rd is the last day for teachers, and the last day of students is the 22nd, I believe. Starting April vacation, we'll be demolishing the remaining portable classroom, and those two teachers will be moving into the new South Classroom Edition. I'm not sure if that's their final home, but that's for Principal Falzarano to deal with. So as soon as the portable classrooms are moved, we can start the foundations for the new learning commons that will be completed in December of 2022.
So, and also, when school's out and the work starts, the Pennachuck site's going to be closed. And of course, the new school's closed till we're done. But people can access the fields and the track from the Henry Burke access.
So as soon as school is out, we're gonna start the final signalization at the new entrance of the school. We are gonna keep the lights that are there right now in place and operational until probably the last possible moment, just so there's no confusion with the cars that are used to that flow of traffic as it is currently. So as Alderman Down mentioned, we're going to have a lot going on site to make sure that everything's finished for when the students return in the fall. So it will be helpful to keep the job site closed and contained to our workers till at least mid-August.
So I think everybody knows there's a bridge across Henry Burke, and they come down here, and there'll be a fenced area to allow them only to go to the back.
Yep.
As a retired school librarian, I'm just wondering if the Learning Commons is not going to be finished. Is that the library space as well?
Yes.
Okay, if it's not going to be finished until December, where will all of the library activities happen until then?
Right, so that's part of the phasing plan that we've reviewed with Principal Falzarano. The current library in the middle of the existing school is going to be relocated temporarily to the North Addition, the new classroom addition.
Okay.
And then when the Learning Commons is completed in December, all of the books and everything will be moved into the new space.
That'll be very exciting. Thank you.
Moving over to the South Addition, just to kind of give everybody an update on the exterior. As things wrap up, we're able to kind of collapse our construction fencing. So the south bus loop has now been, the Jersey barriers have been removed, so we do have 2 lanes of traffic now open, so it's a little less constricted for the bus drivers that have been doing a good job putting up with us the last few months. The building envelope and the brick veneer windows, that has all been complete. We are still waiting for the aluminum panels and the concrete panels that, due to supply chain issues, we've just been waiting for them. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know. But those are tracking to be delivered the beginning of April. So we've got all the subframing installed. You can see on the photo on the right, those horizontal strips. Those are basically what the panels are attached to. So as soon as they arrive, we'll be able to snap those in.
Ken, did you want to address the parking lot change for those that drive F-150s?
Oh, sure. Looking right at Heather.
It's a Dodge.
I was trying to not pick anybody out entirely.
So for those of you who are familiar with the school, you know that the north parking lot at the front entrance is a little tight for those who have larger vehicles, such as Miss Raymond. So we are working with Harriman, and we're kind of shifting the sidewalks and making the parking lot a little wider and the spaces a little deeper. We're also going to be adding a guardrail to the kind of north of the site. It's kind of a steep drop off to protect from cars. So that's something we're going to be starting work on in April. We'll be doing some second shift work for about a week to get ahead of everything, and then we're going to be installing the curbing in that parking area April vacation.
So spring sports starts Monday, and so both Pennachuck and Elm Street have their practices at Pennachuck. Will that affect, the buses dropping off the kids from Elm Street, or
No.
all the parents flocking to, baseball and softball games and track?
We'll coordinate. We're gonna be basically just in that small little area. So we're not gonna have trucks roaming around. It's just a small crew at night. So we'll coordinate with the sports.
Okay.
John is keeping close contact with Ms. Gingras, so.
Good. Well, I got to fit my giant truck in there.
You
can
and
park
about
at my
15 other trucks.
Right?
You can park in my spot at the trailer.
Thanks.
Moving into the interior of the South Addition, again, the photos don't really do it justice because these were taken almost 2 weeks ago. But all the flooring and ceilings are complete. You can see we've got the floor protection down, so our workers that are still working in there don't damage the floors. As we kind of work our way out of the space, we'll be turning them over to the custodial staff to perform their waxing, and we'll be doing our final cleaning in tandem with their crews as well. So all of the millwork and the lab casework is pretty much almost 100% complete, just a couple of odds and ends that we're wrapping up. Finished painting is ongoing for the next couple of weeks, and Harvey and Harriman will be performing their punch list process. That's kind of punch list that's just to kind of go through and pick out any things that maybe need to be adjusted, or if, paint smudged, or if something needs to be fixed. It's kind of something that we issue to our trades to make sure that we're turning over a complete product to the school. And also over the next few weeks, we'll be doing all of our inspections. We recently had the fire marshal inspection, which passed, and then kind of bringing all the building inspectors through to make sure that everything is up to code. So we'll be turning over this space in 2 weeks, and final cleaning will be first week of April, and then kind of give plant operations and Mr. Smith and his staff time to get in there and move furniture. So it'll be nice. It's normally a kind of a rush, because normally we're turning stuff over vacation. So we'll have a little bit more time to get this space ready for the kids in April.
And when was the delivery time for those folding doors?
End of that'll be right at the end of vacation. The folding partitions to separate the 2 classrooms. So it's coming together nicely in there. And we are using the South Addition is being used for swing space for the other. It's going to be 100% occupied when the students return in May, so we can renovate the existing science room. So I'll kind of get into that next month as we start that work.
If I can interject.
Mr. Smith?
Little funny, well, first of all, this speaks to the quality of work that Harvey provides, and not just themselves, but what they demand of their contractors or subcontractors. So that hallway that we just showed on the last picture, why don't you go back to it for a second? So we have job meetings every 2 weeks. We sit down and discuss the status of everything. And they had, so there was floor tile down, the VCT. And Harvey had decided that the job that was done was not good enough. So they made the contractor tear it up. And so Alderman Dowd and I were there, and after the meeting, we walked out. I was wearing my usual sneakers. We stopped to look at something. The old glue was still on the floor.
His foot stuck to the floor.
I couldn't move. My shoes were almost glued to the floor. My feet almost came out of my shoes. Eventually, I got away. I
I
escaped.
helped him as soon as I stopped laughing.
But it goes back to the fact that they saw something. They didn't have to be told by us. They didn't have to be told by the architect. They just saw something that was not done properly, and they, of their own volition, made it right.
That's good.
And I almost got stuck in the meantime. But I might still be stuck if I.
You should have got a picture.
Yeah, I didn't take a picture of that one. So here's another photo of the science classrooms, and since then, the flooring has been installed. Those are the science tops. I don't think the epoxy tops had not been installed at this point, but you can see part of Harriman's design. So in some areas at some of the exterior walls, we do have fin tube heating elements that are kind of tucked behind the casework. So they design these grills at the base of each of these cabinets. Kind of a cool feature. There's also these pencil-proof grills that kind of so you can't drop pencils down or whatever.
Cell phones or
I like that.
masks or anything else.
Moving over to the North Addition exterior, it's kind of a mirror image of the South Addition. So it's just, we're just lagging a little behind on, the same sequencing. So same schedule, we're going to be turning over end of June, beginning of July this summer, so that'll give the staff plenty of time to get things ready for the fall. The roofing is complete, all the windows are in. We do have the heat tied into the existing system, so keep our guys happy and warm. The air vapor barrier is all been installed, the brick veneer is complete, And again, we're waiting for the metal panels that I mentioned on the south addition. So when they arrive, we'll be able to address both buildings at the same time. We are going to be jumping into the courtyard. There's 2 courtyards at each, the north and the south, that we're going to be dressing up this summer as well, so.
It won't be mowing courtyards, there'll be stones, right? Or what are you putting in there?
The north courtyard has, I believe there's some, it's mainly concrete and some plantings, and then the south courtyard is, I believe, mostly,
The south courtyard is existing area, so it really isn't, there is still grass in that area currently, but I think we were going to revisit and see if that wants to be revisited, so.
Yeah,
Maybe some of that no-mow grass.
Could be.
get rid of that shed that's, Harvey was, Carl Dubois was supposed to take that, and he never took that.
he's not here to defend himself. North addition, interior construction progress. Again, it's kind of a mirror image of the south. All the metal framing is complete. All the spray foam insulation at the exterior has been completed. Pretty much complete all of the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and overhead sprinkler work. So now you can see we're starting to install the drywall tops, and since then we've started to hang drywall in there. So again, this is progressing nicely. Now we're just going to kind of jump into the next phase. We're working on the finishes and whatnot. So again, everything's going very well. Happy with all the subcontractors there, doing a great job. So. Any questions about Penachuk?
Did you want to address in April vacation, the gas vault is being moved?
Yeah, so at the front of the school, the current entrance, Liberty Utilities is going to be relocating. There's an existing gas vault. They're going to be doing their work independent of what we're doing at the school. So we'll just coordinate with them as far as access. It shouldn't, there'll be police details and flaggers. It shouldn't interfere with any school access. And that'll allow us to do our work at the entrance this summer.
And just for Mrs. Raymond's edification, that we have addressed the fact that when the parents line up to get their students, there's a few issues with that. But one is that they block the lane going in, so people that want to get into the school site go down the lane of the coming out. And there is room so that there's 3 lanes eventually.
And I think Alder and Dowd mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, this is that temporary entrance that you'll see if you do go over to the site at the new middle school. So this is on Medallion, so we've removed the existing island there to allow the trucks to get through. So we're kind of creating a little loop for our trucks to drive in and stage and basically process the trees as they're being taken down.
So the trucks come in this way, drop off the equipment and go out this way, and when they go down Medallion, there'll be somebody to walk them down the street in case there are students or parents that, want to see how big that truck is. So, but this will all be restored, at least some of this will be restored, but this definitely Medallion will all be restored at the end.
Are there houses on that side of the street, or no?
No.
Only on the other side?
We own all that side of the street. The houses are right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'll take that name. By the way, what do you do with all those trees?
The people that are cutting the tree, well, first of all, the small trees are all now pieces of little wood. The larger trees get cut and taken by the person that's doing the cutting as part of the cost.
Oh, okay.
So, correct?
Correct.
So where's the building is this the building footprint?
Yeah, we're working our way up. Yeah, that's building C.
Yeah, so they've come in and a lot of those trees are now gone. And the other thing we're going to be doing is they'll be clearing and leveling where the fields are, and we're going to be planting the grass this fall, so it has 2 years of growth before the school opens, hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Harvey? All right.
I do have two other items for the group tonight, two letters of recommendation, one for the new middle school and one for Franklin Street. I think everyone should have those in your packet. So I'll start with the new Nashua Middle School. This is for the wood flooring package, and the scope covered here is all the athletic gym flooring, all the wood flooring at the stage area. So it includes all the line paint, the painting, line work, and the furnish and install of all the required hardware. We did receive 3 bids for this, kind of similar to Jamie's presentation. We put together a bid tab where we kind of make sure that everybody's got the same scope of work. During that process, we did realize that one of the bidders did not have the full scope of work, so their bid was disqualified. So we had two bidders that did carry all of the scope, and we're recommending the low qualified bidder, that is New England Sports Floors of Lowell, Mass. They did perform the work they also performed the work over at Fairgrounds Middle School in the new gym there. We're recommending them for a total contract value of $179,300.00.
So I'd like to entertain a motion for wood flooring to be awarded to New England Sports Floors of Lowell, Massachusetts in the amount of $179,300. Ms. Raymond?
I'll make the bid. They did a beautiful job at Fairgrounds. I'm making the motion, not the bid.
Okay.
Okay, you can have the
Is
bid.
there any other discussion? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I think Alderman Sullivan can attest to the floors too, having been familiar with the old one and seeing the new.
The last package that I'll be presenting tonight, and this is for Franklin Street, and this is an important one. We're hoping so if this is approved by the committee here tonight. This will allow Harvey to release the awarded contractor to start the shop drawing process to get this is for the 2 metal stair towers over at each end of Franklin Street. So the goal would be to get the shop drawings approved with Harriman, and that'll release the material into fabrication and with an install in the summer, late summer. So we did receive 2 bids for this scope of work. We're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, that is Empire Sheet Metal of Manchester, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $225,640.00.
So I'll entertain a motion to award the steel emergency stairs for Franklin Street to Empire Sheet Metal, Inc. of Manchester, New Hampshire, in the amount of $225,640.
I move to do.
Yes, okay. Motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Ms. Raymond?
I have just a couple things. One, I'm glad that they put right in there that they understand the schedule. But I'm just curious about, like, there's a huge difference between the 2 bids, over $100,000. Like, any idea how they could be so far off of each other?
We did review this with both contractors. They do have all of the scope. I think SL Chasey, which is the second bidder, is very busy this summer, so I think that has to do with a lot of the price increases. I just don't think that Empire has a lot going on this summer, and they were able to fit us in a more competitive number.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ooh, squeak.
Very specific.
Okay.
We need directions up there.
All right. We now have a discussion of projector installation for Pennachuck Middle School.
Alderman Dowd. I'm Greg Rodriguez. I'm the Director of Technology for the Nashua School District. So we solicited bids from surrounding audiovisual companies to outfit Pennachuck Middle School with projectors in the classrooms and in most common areas. We did receive 4 bids, one from Bloom, CSS, ProAV, and Northeast Digital Integrators. ProAV was the most competitive, and they provided the entire scope. There was a lower bid of Bloom, but they did not include labor, and we were also, we would be responsible for seeking out a third party to install projectors. So ProAV, we have a history with them. So the Department of Technology recommends to this committee that we move forward with ProAV because of the best pricing, historical work, and their track record and expertise with the district.
Okay. Did I hear a dollar amount?
The dollar amount is $138,896.
Can you say that again?
$138,896.
And the company again?
ProAV.
Pro AV
Yep.
from,
Nashua, I believe. I'm not entirely.
and,
Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Close. CSS is in Nashua,
okay.
or CCS.
Sorry, for which school?
This is for Pennachuck.
So did you talk to the scope of the work, what we're providing?
Yes, it's they're providing the projectors and the labor involved.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll entertain,
Can I ask a question first? Or
do we
no?
want to put the motion on the floor and then ask the question?
Oh, sure. Do you want me to put the motion on the floor?
Done.
But it depends on how the question is answered.
So,
So
and
if I
it's-
can ask the question for, okay. Okay, I'll make the motion for discussion.
okay, so you're making the motion to award the contract to
Pro
Pro
AV,
AV for $138,896.
right.
Discussion?
I'm just questioning, are they projectors that are mounted in the ceiling? Are they permanent screens that are installed like where whiteboards would be? Or are they,
Yeah, so-
screens like these? What exactly do they look like?
So we're looking at short throw projectors in the classroom. So short throws are projectors that are as far away as that camera is to the actual whiteboard. So they're not ceiling, in most cases, depending on the ceiling, they're not mounted in the ceiling like that. They're extremely close, and they provide a great picture. And they don't cause a lot of disruption in the classroom, especially with space and ceiling areas, because sometimes that can get a little hairy.
So there's some kind of like cabinet type thing that they sit on?
No,
that you could-
they were mounted to similar to this on right above the whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
They
Thank you.
similar or identical to the ones at Fairgrounds?
They'll be probably similar. If they may be a model year newer, so I wasn't. That was last year for the.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Oh, yes, Mr. Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. What line item does this come out of on the budget? Is it IT infrastructure?
I'll defer that to Mr. Smith.
Smith?
IT infrastructure.
Yeah,
And this is 176?
it's
what is it?
138,896.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So, and I think that's under what we had estimated, isn't it, Sean?
It's well under.
Well under.
Well under.
But I wouldn't say that this isn't the complete package, because he still has other stuff he has to order.
Right.
This is
So
just for
the-
the projectors.
Because there's 581 under there, so there's got to be other
Yes.
equipment in
There
there.
are
as
other
well.
things, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think the TVs are under that too, aren't they?
They should be, yeah.
Yeah, I think you saw the TVs at Fairgrounds, they were mounted.
Are you on your? Mike?
Mike,
My mic's on. So it's that type of equipment for the common areas in the classrooms.
Classroom wings, stuff like that.
What's all the stickering over there? All right, any other discussion? Yes, Ms.
can I
Giglio?
just add that the school I worked in Chelmsford for 19 years, Pro AV did almost all of their installation, and they were amazing.
Yeah, they do a lot of our repair work now. Let's say I believe they did the work in here for the boardroom too. So they do great work.
Yeah.
Yeah, very satisfied with them.
All right. Nothing else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Sean?
Okay, the next item is a professional services agreement. This is the wetland scientist. You may recall, we met with the Conservation Commission before we got the final permit to do the job at the new middle school. And one of the stipulations coming out of that is that we hire a wetland scientist to look at the vernal pools one more time this spring. So it was under 5,000, which was under my threshold of what I can approve. To get the ball rolling, I went ahead after consulting with Alderman Dowd and signed it, but I'm looking for your, say that I did the right thing and also approve the contract in the amount of $3,000 to Gove Environmental Services.
Environmental Services. What was the amount again, Sean?
3,000.
3,000.
3,000. So I'll entertain a motion to approve Sean's authorization for environmental services in the amount of $3,000 for wetland scientists.
So moved.
So moved by Alderman Wiltshire. Any discussion?
I'd just like to point out that I think Sean did the right thing, because it's the season. We got to get him out there so he can count them.
It's also a requirement of the Conservation Commission, so.
Right, but we got to get him out there like, I don't want to miss the salamander season.
We can have you help go out and count.
I don't want to, no.
We have the bats coming too.
Alderman
Just
Dowd.
hope counting
Yes.
them.
Thank you.
I like
Alderman
that.
Sullivan?
Salamanders, not so much.
So if he just a process question. If he has authority to sign off for anything 5,000 or less, why do we need to vote on that?
Oh, because he has up to 5,000, I have up to 50,000 to get,
Okay.
if we have to move something along and not wait for another meeting so we can get it done, we had to get this guy, or there aren't a lot of them out there. And so we wanted to lock him up and get him situated. So we still has to be approved by the joint special,
Okay. All right,
Okay.
thanks.
crossing the Ts and dotting the Is.
Good question.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. All right. Sean?
So the next one. And to follow on with Alderman Sullivan, a lot of it's timing. So if I get something the week before where I know we're going to meet here, and I know it can wait, then it'll wait.
Okay.
So like this next item I'm going to talk about is within Alderman Dowd's threshold to approve, so it's under 50,000. But I knew we could wait till tonight to approve, so we held on to it.
He also called me to ask, so.
So you may recall that we hired Turner Building Science to do commissioning of Fairgrounds Middle School. They did all the new mechanical systems, and then we asked them to take a look at the old mechanical systems. We hadn't been commissioned since the mid-90s, recommissioned. So they did that. They came up with a fairly long laundry list of things that were amiss or could be improved. And most of those, the vast majority of those had to do with the controls in the building. So our controls contractor is Controls Technology. We asked them to provide a not to exceed contract to address those concerns. So this is a time and material contract to correct retro commissioning deficiencies in the not to exceed amount of $20,000.
I'd entertain a motion to award the contract for Control Technologies for the Fairgrounds Middle School in an amount not to exceed $20,000.
So moved.
So moved by Gloria?
It was for fairgrounds?
Fairgrounds.
It is.
Any questions? So typically, we have an older school, we get done with the project, we have somebody go back and say, did we catch all the things we should have caught? And that's what these are. Most of them are controls.
And I'm sorry, who made the motion? Ms. Timmons?
Ms. Timmons.
Was it? Okay.
Any questions? Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, invoices.
Okay, I'll read through those. These are on your financial sheets, also on the agenda. So tonight we have 2 invoices from Harriman, one for the new middle school, and one for Pennachuck. Those total $76,121.08. We have 3 invoices from Harvey for work at Fairgrounds, Pennachuck, and the new middle school. Those total $2,341,824.17. We have 1 invoice from Hayner Swanson. They're our surveying company for work at the new middle school, $1,410. We have 1 invoice from Page Street Storage. That's the ground storage unit where you have furniture in at Pennachuck, $95. We have 1 invoice. The invoice, if you look at it, was dated August. We never received it, was not in our records. They asked us, they sent it to us, it was past due, and we said, well, we haven't received it, so we bring it to you tonight for approval. But they did the work. RPF took care of the asbestos at Fairgrounds Middle School. That invoice is for $7,165. Turner Group, again, they're our commissioning agent, for work at Pennachuck for the new installations there, $921.01. And finally, we have 1 invoice from Vanessa and Associates. They're our traffic consultant for work at Pennachuck, $349.34. And all that totals from your financial sheet. I'm pausing because something's not adding up for me.
I have $1,884,365.21.
Can you say that again? I got 18843.
1,884,365 and 21 cents.
Nice.
That balance with you, Sean?
I'm pausing because the invoice is listed on the agenda. If you look at the Harvey invoices, there's 2 of them for $1 million each. That would put our total over $2 million for the total. So I'm
So the
trying to
numbers,
figure out where the,
so we have to go off with the numbers of the,
It's too bad nobody has a calculator on them anymore.
Yeah.
oh,
All these-
that's because I think the 3rd invoice was added recently, right?
let me
Heather's
go.
on it.
We got the original invoices from Harvey, so we've got one for $18,406. Somebody write these down.
I see Heather on her calculator.
Aha. We have one for $1,061,242.39. And we have one for $718,655. I can see that the number on the agenda is incorrect. Is incorrect. So-
All right,
No, the final number is wrong.
I was adding up the numbers on the agenda.
So the numbers on the agenda are right, it's the final that isn't right.
Yeah, the spreadsheet is correct,
spreadsheet is correct.
yes.
So what's the number on the spreadsheet?
Spreadsheet is $1,884,365.21.
That's the correct number.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
so,
has the correct numbers for Harvey's 3 invoices.
so,
It's not 2.4 million.
Correct.
Great.
so Harvey is $1,798,303.78. Harriman is $76,121.08. Hayner Swanson is $1,410. Vanessa and Associates is $349.34. RPF Environmental is $7,165. Turner Building Sciences is $921.01. Page Street Rentals is $95 for a total of $1,884,365.21.
Okay,
Do I
so
have a motion to approve the pay invoices?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Mr. Bishop made that motion. Is there any discussion on the invoices, other than the one we've already had? Because I think we did add one additional Harvey somewhere along the line recently, right? And I think the person that puts the agendas together was also going on vacation. I don't know who allowed that, but it had probably the Board of Education.
The agenda number was definitely wrong. So
okay, so we're not paying a Harvey invoice, right?
No, we are,
Because
we
I want
approved-
them to still like us and work for us.
I think they know where to get it.
I don't want to. Okay.
It's all right, in the other program, they don't know how to pay them, so. All right. Invoices are paid. Comments by committee members?
Oh, do we want to vote on
We
that?
didn't vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Well, that was more difficult than it should have been. Now, comments by committee members. Anyone?
So sorry, I'm just making one more note. I just want to say thank you for offering the tours and stuff for everybody. We still have to go through the superintendent when we schedule those things, just to make sure that nothing else is happening in the school. And then, I mean, I'm sure he's in support of it. He just needs to be added in on the emails when that happens.
Is
We can't just go
any-
and tell Sean to, excuse me, do this for us.
Is anything
We don't have that authority.
happening in the new edition at this point in time? It shouldn't be.
No,
No, it's just, we have to go through the superintendent when we go into the schools for
I've
anything.
had more communications with Garth lately than,
I know. I'm sure he's sick of all of us by now.
yeah,
But-
he's like emailing him every morning at 6 something. I go, really?
but
No problem. If somebody calls me, they want to make a tour, I'll make sure I talk to Garth.
Yeah, that's all.
thank you.
Ms. Sullivan?
Thank you. I actually just got an email from a constituent about the new middle school. And before I forward it off to Alderman Jetty, because this is now his ward, I figured I would ask the question live, if that's okay.
Sure.
He's commenting, they have basically removed the island and replaced it with cones. I think I know why, and that was addressed in your letter.
Better, yeah.
From the beginning of the project, there was no mention that this would be removed. It was just mentioned that the access road would be placed at this intersection. That roundabout and the small divider at 102 Cherrywood do help slow down the traffic. Do you know if there are any other plans for Cherrywood Drive that were not discussed? Thank you, Jonathan Ford.
Oh, yes, I know the name. So the island has been removed, and DPW wanted a painted line, like the island was still there, even though, and they paved it so the trucks can go across it. When we're done, the island is going to be rebuilt, but by city DPW direction, it's only going to be cobblestones. But it will be an obvious island. But a fire truck could drive over it.
Oh,
So that's the key, because the fire trucks have a big turning radius, especially the ladders, and it would only be in an emergency, but they have to be able to turn in there. So it will be like part of the roundabout up here at the north with the cobblestones, except it won't have the thing in the middle, because it's a lot smaller anyway. I still don't know what we're gonna do with that foolish box that's in the middle of it, but, Jamie?
I just want to add that the constituent is right. That was not part of the original plan, but based on some of the permitting challenges for access off Buck Meadow to start construction, that was a necessity, and it was decided as of very recently that would be the intent to do that as a temporary measure. But Harvey and the team is working with DPW to make sure that what goes back meets what the city would like to see there. So it is just a temporary measure.
Okay.
We had a pre-construction meeting with all the city departments. It's like group hug. And all the people at DPW gave us all the directions on what to do with that island and the island at the intersection of Buck Meadow Road and Main Dunstable. They're going to be taking out the first 35 feet and then pave that so the trucks can turn in. DPW has a separate project, not part of this project, to rebuild that intersection with a turn lane, which they will be working on.
And to date, there are no more changes on Cherrywood, just to address the back half of his email?
No,
No? Okay, perfect.
other than we rebuild the thing when we get done. I mean, but
Right.
not touching anything else on,
Thank you.
no.
That actually prompted a question from me. Which fire station responds to the new middle school? Is it the Conant Road or is it Spitbrook?
I believe that both will, if there's a school fire, more than even those two will respond, but
Right.
I think whoever gets there first. I would venture to say that Conant Road will get there first. They will go down, they'll go down Buck Meadow Road, and of course, if the main entrance is open, they'll shoot right up the main entrance. But you can bet that the other fire station will be right behind them.
Okay.
When you have a school fire like that, it's all hands, there'll be 20 trucks there.
Okay.
Save the building.
I'm just thinking like the two little stations, like, meow. this
And the
big, huge
fire
school.
department finally determined what they wanted for a gate at the emergency access after.
Oh, good.
And by the way, I talked to the chief today. He likes your idea, Jamie. So that's good. So police and fire will have a thing to open the gate.
Oh, cool.
And there'll be bollards so you can't go around it, and the kids can go around it to walk up the sidewalk or road or whatever.
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Ken, Jamie? All right. We don't need a non-public. Do I have a motion? Ms. Timmons. Yeah. Ms. Timmons made a motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at 8:13 PM. Thank you, everyone.